Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money. You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your command.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings, and you can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live at 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up-to-the-minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course, From Ridiculous to Radical to Real, This Means War. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, From Ridiculous to Radical to Real and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to OnPointe, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans 1. Won't you please share with someone? Tag a few people. Invite them to join a conversation. Call them on the phone, text them, tweet them, whatever you have to do. But invite them to join what we believe is an impacting conversation around culture, around faith, around religion, around politics, sports, those events that are significant to you. But our discussion is always from a kingdom biblical point of view. Joining me once again is our world famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. All's well.
It's going, man. It's going.
Yeah.
You can give us a call. We'd love to talk to you this morning. 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about those things that impact culture, politics, sports, of course, the faith, biblical principles, those things that you are concerned about. And we speak to those issues all from that biblical point of view to give you God's wisdom, the kingdom wisdom, as it relates to what's going on in your life. Like the sons of Issachar, we like to understand the times and know exactly what to do. And knowing what to do comes from the Word of God, giving us the wisdom of God. So you can join us this morning and have the conversation with us. 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. So, this week has been very interesting. Mm-hmm. It appears as though the Justice Department, which I was starting to wonder how are they going to participate in this investigation and prosecution of those that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. I was wondering how they were going to get involved, and I realized that Merrick Garland did not want to come out the box and stumble. So, like some people I know were saying that they were busy in preparation. And I remember something someone told me years ago. When the government is silent, they're working.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm interested to see now that all of a sudden now, Bannon in his defiance has decided, you know what, I need to show up. They're about to throw me in jail.
Oh, yeah, because they just indicted them it was yesterday?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. People act like, I actually got into a conversation with a black person about this.
Okay.
About this. He didn't believe there was systemic and systematic racism in the country.
How old is he?
I don't know how old he was. Some guy online that we follow each other.
Okay.
But he seems around maybe like 40s, 40s, 50s, somewhere around that area.
Where's he been living?
He's in Ohio. And I know. And we had talking about the justice system. I was like, let's take the prison system in general.
Okay.
You know, you could look at Steve O'Bannon,
Mm-hmm.
the one lady that said that she wasn't going to go to jail because she was white and she got 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
She went to jail for 60 days.
Yeah.
But again, if you storm a Capitol government building, 60 days is a slap on the wrist.
Nothing.
When if you can go to jail for breaking into a Walmart and get a year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, it just, you can't tell me there's not a difference between.
Or you can get killed for running through a development, and there's a possibility that you'll get off for it.
Yeah. Or Rittenhouse. You see his little fake cry this week?
Well, what's even more startling to me is that would any other individual be viewed with sympathy if you cross state lines with an automatic weapon supposedly to clean graffiti, ended up shooting 3 people, and now people are sympathetic to your cause?
Yes.
A judge that apparently is setting the entire case up for an appeal.
Yep. This is the wash, rinse, repeat. It's the staged, managed outcome.
Man,
not a tear fell from his eye.
I heard it was a waterless cry.
It was a waterless cry, and then he did this glance over, look at the jewelry real quick,
Yeah.
To see if they were buying it. But he did say he was going to come. He was coming there to be an help with the EMTs, and the lawyer was like, "Well, do you have EMT training?" No. Are you EMT? No. So why are you coming up here with a gun to help be a medic?
He wasn't. He's lying.
And the people he shot were in different locations. It's not like they were all in the same place.
Yeah.
But again, it's highlighting for all of us to see.
What do you make of the judge?
He is placating this whole
He's clearly
thing.
biased.
Clearly.
But I thought the judge was supposed to give a perception of neutrality.
Right. At least act like you're neutral.
But he's not at all.
He's not at all. This is a staged, managed thing.
And I understand $2 million was raised for his defense.
Yes. All the All Lives Matter and all those, they all donated to his defense fund. Because they want to prove that Black Lives Matter and all those groups are.
Well, hypothetically speaking, if Rittenhouse was black and he shot 3 white individuals.
He had been shot that night.
Okay.
They would have killed him that night on that street.
Okay.
He's charged crossing state lines with a gun.
With an assault weapon.
Yeah, and he would have been dead right there on that street.
But I understand police vehicles, law enforcement vehicles full of law enforcement people passed him on the street.
Yeah. They were laughing and talking with him. He was going up to there talking to him, gun in his hand, and nothing. That's the thing. Is that group within law enforcement?
Yeah.
That not all of them.
We identified there is a supremacist group in law enforcement, and obviously they are in positions of authority in many departments across the country.
Mm-hmm.
So. Republicans who were at the January 6th rally were elected or re-elected to office recently?
Now, they claim they didn't go into the building. They were just in the crowd.
But are they the same guys that are saying they didn't see a riot, they just saw a tour?
They were doing their patriotic duty. They didn't think it was going to turn into all that. That's what they're saying.
But what did it turn into if it was nothing?
Yeah, they thought it was just going to be just their protest.
But they're saying it turned into something.
It turned into something.
So that was not a tour.
Yes. Yeah.
That wasn't Visitors Day. That wasn't come to work with your dad day.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. So you've been following the Arbery case. Can you follow it?
A little bit. I can't watch too much of this stuff because it makes my blood boil.
Okay.
So I just read about it for the most part.
Okay.
Because I know they got the one black juror. I don't know if you saw the video of the defense lawyer saying.
I happened to turn the television on at the moment they were reporting and showing the video of what he said.
Yeah. We already got Al Sharpton here. We don't need no more black pastors here.
He said it out of his mouth.
He said.
And what blew my mind was the reaction of the 2 ladies that were sitting at the table.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, did he really just say that?
Yep.
But the thing that I saw was he was revealing his heart.
He was. And I think they're trying to spin it in a way.
They're going to spin that?
I think so. That these black pastors are going to come in and create some hostility. So let's kind of,
The judge said it's an open courtroom.
Yes.
And anybody can come that wants to come.
Mm-hmm. They're going to try.
But this guy specifically said, I don't want any more black pastors coming up in here. He said, I saw, matter of fact, I watched it twice because I thought perhaps I had misperceived what he was saying the first time around.
Nope.
So I waited till they showed it again.
Nope.
And it was clear. He said it.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know who that was in the morning. Was that Jesse Jackson or somebody?
Yep.
I'm like.
But they have a group of them planning on coming, going down to the case.
They have to.
They have to. And I just wonder how they're going to spin that, because they always turn that into that aggressive black pastor thing and trying to.
Well, some of our pastors are aggressive. I mean, all of us
needed to be.
All of us have that element when we need to have it.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. So, Kentucky high school received lap dances from students during a homecoming game? Wait a minute. A homecoming game is held in a public place.
Yeah, they do the homecoming festivities.
Okay, where did the lap dancing occur?
This was in like a gym. So
They had lap dances in the gym.
they had the boys dress up like, gag stuff, like a joke, like females, and play like they're giving these lap dances to the principal, some of the teachers. Had the girls dress up like Hooters
To
girls.
adults?
Yes. And the principal was involved in this too. And the principal is known for having some sketchy issues.
Okay, so are they going to spend this?
It was just fun. We were just playing.
Or they're spending it?
They're spending it. It was just fun, and they're claiming to do an investigation. But he's known for doing stuff like this, from what I read. But I know if this was my child, I'll whip his tail and whip that teacher's tail. Like, don't you ever have some grown person,
Unbelievable.
And the kids were participating like it was a joke, like having fun. Like, this
That's
is not
no
no
joke.
joke. This is not a joke.
Okay, so let me ask the obvious question. Where were the parents?
This was during school time. I don't know what some of the outreach from the parents are. They're not reporting that much on the outreach part. But school officials saying they're looking into it. What principal can keep their job in a situation like this? In any other country?
Obviously him.
Yeah, because somebody's protecting him because he's known for having some sketchy
Behavior?
yes. I think he's connected to the mayor of some politics somewhere in the.
I'm just overwhelmingly blown away.
Yeah.
So this week the House passes a $565 billion
$55 billion.
infrastructure bill.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, $555 billion,
Yep.
and that's half of the bill, right?
I don't remember. I gotta look.
Yeah, I think there's the human side of it.
Yeah, they're not.
Still-
Yeah, they didn't do the human side.
Yeah,
They
it
just doing
still has to be.
infrastructure and-
Yeah. You know what I realized on the way here this morning? The gentleman that passed away that ran for president against President Obama,
McCain.
McCain. And then the black gentleman, John Lewis. It appears to me that when those two gentlemen passed away, that the conscience for the parties also died.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because McCain really appeared to be not about a lot of foolishness.
Yep.
And we know John Lewis was not about foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it appears to me that when those two gentlemen faded off the scene, some kind of restraint, especially where McCain was concerned and the Republican Party, was taken away. Graham and all those guys,
Yeah.
just all of a sudden,
Lost
okay,
everything, yeah.
Dad's not here now.
Yep. And McCain was too well respected and too well in for them to mess with him.
Okay.
But you're right. I think they adopted the whole Trump mechanism,
Mm-hmm.
and it's coming back. They're using that to keep winning elections in these small areas in the South to keep
Okay.
a foothold in.
Okay.
Bannon did say that their goal is to try to get 50% of the black male vote, because Trump actually increased his black male vote in the last election.
Okay. Can you tell me, because they can't be talking to guys my age, but maybe they are.
Some of your age, yes. I think it's class.
Okay. When you say class, what do you mean?
They're thinking of the money. So Republican, good for business.
So you're saying that black men have decided to go for the money at the expense of their own safety and well-being?
Yes, a certain group is about money. Yes, and some they're
Because you can't get the money and think you're all of a sudden not going to be treated like you're
right. Yeah,
not a part of the accepted people.
yeah. And there is a conservative lower class group that support him too.
So they don't realize
guns and
he doesn't care about people that don't have money. They don't realize that.
well, he obviously to me they don't, because if he said he likes the uneducated, and they still voted for him.
But I think he said that to get them, not
Yeah, that's
because
the
he
thing.
cares about
Yeah,
them.
not because he cares. He just
Okay.
wants their vote.
Okay.
But to them, he's going to magically correct all this and make it right.
So in the 4 years what form of correction did they experience?
That's my question to all of them. Like, what did you get from it?
They didn't get a thing.
Except some business owners may have got some tax cuts. But the regular working class?
The tax cuts really only addressed, 600 or 700 people in the country?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the biggest part, yeah.
And even the people that I know that are wealthy were not part of the 700.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the top, 1.2% of wealth in the country?
Mm-hmm.
Those people benefited from the tax breaks.
Greatly, yes.
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 But the rest of us out here working every day, I didn't feel nothing.
It's just I know certain Republicans, they have some.
I didn't feel trickle down.
No.
I didn't even feel a crap down.
No. A lot of it is a ruse. But you say often Republican is good for the business owner.
Absolutely.
Because
as a rule. Not the working man.
Not the working part.
Yeah.
But the working
as a rule.
No.
And I think that's been consistent. But there's this mantra of everything's better, even from people that things did not get better for.
Yeah. It's all hype and
it's just like I was talking to a guy, and his answer to everything was the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Until finally he said something. I said, you've been saying that for 5 minutes. What did the mainstream media have to do with what you just said?
Yeah.
And he drew a blank.
Yeah. Yep.
Because what people are espousing are the program responses.
Yep. That's true. Yeah. It's all wash, rinse, repeat. That's the thing. I'll give it to Republicans. They are good at messaging. Okay. Democrats aren't.
Messaging focused on the fears and insecurities of people.
And we'll hone in on it and keep talking about it. Those 2 or 3 points, like the wall was never supposed to be a thing. But they could Trump focus on wall. Wall, 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 wall.
So maybe what you're saying, and correct me, please, is that the mere mention of a concern for many people is enough of support, even though evidence is not there.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like in Virginia, critical race theory.
They're not teaching it anywhere.
But they kept saying it's being taught, they're exposing to your kids.
It's not.
Yep.
It's an elective in some colleges.
But again, when you appeal to that fear.
Well, what's an elective? An elective is a class you don't have to take. You have to choose to take the class.
Yep.
It's not in your core of what you need for your degree.
Yep.
Just in case people didn't know what an elective was. So it's not anything you got to take it.
Yeah.
No.
But what they started doing was lumping regular American history as it relates to black people and calling that critical race theory.
Well, it's not. It's just the truth.
That's the thing. But they kept messaging it so good that it appealed to their fears.
Did anybody say, can I see your books, baby?
No, they do.
And then they look at the book and say, which class is critical race theory? We don't have that, mommy.
They'll ask the person on camera, what is critical race theory? Well, I'm not sure about it, but I just know it's not a good thing to be taught.
Well, how do you know if you don't know what it is?
But they're voting based off feeling, their fears, their insecurities.
I remember Texas lost probably one of the best governors they've had in the last 30 years. It was a lady. And she lost because the campaign convinced the suburban people that if she got elected again, that crime was going to go up in their neighborhoods. When in actuality, while she was in office, crime steadily went down. But they just convinced them.
Yep.
And when the next guy got in, guess what happened?
Crime went up.
It went up.
That's appealing to fears. So let's take Obama. He's letting all these immigrants in.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
The real truth was he actually deported more immigrants.
More immigrants.
But again,
than any recent president.
Yeah. They're good at messaging and appealing to people's fears. Democrats are playing pity pat.
So have they come to an understanding that people don't check?
Yes, they know people don't check. They know what we talk about on Bible study for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Your bias can filter how you see everything.
Absolutely.
And no matter what anybody else says, if it feels true to you, even if it's wrong,
how
it feels true.
Can it be true
when I feel
it so intensely? Yes.
That is the exact voter.
Let's go we got a new Robin from Delaware. Hey, Robin from Bear, Delaware. How are you?
Hey, Good morning, Bishop.
Welcome.
Good morning, Pastor Nick.
Good morning. Ms. Whitaker.
How are you? I listen to your show every Saturday if I can, and very informative and very much on point.
Thank you. Good to hear from you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's happening? What's your comment today?
Well, I just have a quick comment that I wanted to make, and I don't think that this is anything new, but we're living in unprecedented times, and many people, my sons, my daughters, my son-in-laws, many are disappointed that Biden isn't doing more for the constituency that actually put him in office, especially after the prior 4 years. There was an expectation that police reform would be addressed, criminal justice would be addressed, educational disparities, especially with his wife being an educator. But from what a lot of people are seeing in that infrastructure bill, it just keeps getting watered down to the extent where even the progressives have not sanctioned the bill because of this whole conservative perspective that's being incorporated in it just to get the bill through. So I just wanted to say that next year is a non-presidential election. In every state that Trump disputed is in play for the steal. Every one of them, Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, they're all in play for flip at the Senate, at the House level and gubernatorial levels and local levels as well. Mm-hmm. Every senator who held Trump accountable for the insurrection, they're now being challenged. I mean, Liz Cheney, she's a staple in the GOP. She lost her Senate minority leader seat, and she's being opposed right now. So we've got some issues, and I'm not saying that I have the answers, but we got some trouble, and we got to be diligent. And we're a people that are either going through adversity or healing from adversity. So my plea is that I know that there's a lot of people who are disappointed in this current administration, but there is a plan underway to, you think we had it bad 4 years ago. It will be even worse if Trump has nothing to lose and his only focus is revenge. So my thoughts are we got to fight, regardless of how we feel about this party, the current party that's in place. We have to fight. If we don't live in one of those vulnerable states, we can still make calls for the Democratic candidate that's running. We can still send money to them to support their campaign. We can't rest on our laurels. At the same time, we also have to encourage those that are in power in our states to take the positions that represent our best interest. If we don't like the political statute that's going on in Washington, then we have to vote. We have to demand transparency and accountability by those candidates that we're putting in office. And we have to understand that, unfortunately, people don't understand our perspective. It's easy for people to say, oh, I understand the plight of the African American or black and brown people. No, if you don't walk in my shoes, you don't understand that perspective. So we have to make our voice heard. And I hope usually during a lame duck non-presidential election, we stay home. We can't stay home. If we think that Biden is weak, he's going to be even weaker without a strong Senate and a congressional staff that can support those policies. So I just wanted to make that statement.
Thank you, Robin.
Yeah, she's spot on.
Yeah.
A lot of people are frustrated with Biden, but I will say it's only been 10 months.
Well, and here's the other thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think I understand the strategy.
Yeah.
I think that the jobs and opportunities thing, and what I think now, I'm not a pro at this stuff, but I believe the voting stuff that we're concerned about and all that stuff are Department of Justice agendas.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that Garland does not show his hand at all at what he's about to do. So I can't believe, and I still fall on what I was taught years ago, that when the government is silent, that's when they're working.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times, I believe that the infrastructure stuff and all the stuff they're doing now, and this last one couldn't have gotten approved without the progressives being involved. So they are involved in the process. But I think the timing of it is what is disconcerting to us. It's giving, some of us have had the impression that things are being ignored when I don't believe that's the truth.
Yeah.
I believe that there's a timing going on.
Yeah.
The jobs thing, get people back to work, get the economy going. Because if we do the vote, we do the voting thing first, and there's no jobs and opportunities, then we've got a problem. So in the midst of this pandemic, which the country has never faced anything like this before, they're trying to get people back to work. I believe the Justice Department is going to do exactly what they're supposed to do about the voting, about the police reform. I think that all that's going to come, but the Justice Department is it's become in our eyes a small thing under Trump when it actually is a vast organization. Capable of major multitasking at the same time. So I'm hoping that within the next 2-3 months, heading into January, February, that a lot of the concerns that we have, and I can't actually see Kamala Harris being the vice president and our issues not being addressed.
I think it's giving it time.
Yeah.
And messaging too. The
one thing they fail at is messaging.
When they accomplish something, you heard about it for weeks.
Yeah.
Us, we just
even if it was a lie.
Even if it was a lie, he just yeah.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Good hearing from you. Talk to you now.
Take care.
Bye bye. That was Robin from Bear, Delaware. That's not Robin driving Robin. We're going to Tom from Florida. Then we're going to Danny from Florida. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
Good morning. How you doing, Pastor Nick and Bishop?
Doing fine, man. What's that I hear in your voice, boy? You all right?
No, I'm just clearing my throat. I'm
okay.
good to go.
Okay.
First thing is getting back to Rittenhouse. This judge put his finger on the scale of justice.
It's more like his foot.
Well, but to not allow the prosecution to say that these guys were victims, and in turn let the defense call them rioters. I mean, and then to publicly go after the prosecutor. This guy is not in the pocket of this kid, or at least not on his side. I don't know what's going on.
I think he's begging for the Justice Department to get involved.
And this trial?
Yep, I think he's begging for whatever the outcome is. I think he's begging for the Justice Department to get involved.
He's doing a good job of it.
Yeah, I think he's espousing his beliefs. But I think that, when you do it publicly like this, and you would think perhaps behind closed doors he might say some of these things, but he's, the Lord is obviously allowing him to be revealed. His heart is being revealed. He's got his national stage opportunity. He's got his 5 minutes of fame, but all he's doing is giving the Justice Department plenty to come after.
Did you hear when his phone rang? The judge's phone rang in the courtroom.
No.
It was one of the songs that Trump uses to come out. Some American song.
No.
Yeah. He did a standing ovation in the courtroom for a vet that was in the. I mean, he's doing the whole America, and he's.
But it's not typical judge behavior.
Yeah. No, he's not sitting back being in the middle. He's definitely.
He's taking a side. He's taking a side.
The other thing was the previous caller said, you were talking about messaging down here in southern Florida, I told you the last election, I believe, was lost in Florida by Biden because they didn't message with the Cuban community.
Right.
I'll tell you what, Trump was down here, and he was on it. I didn't see much of Biden or any political ads, and I believe that would have pushed Florida the other direction because it was a close race here. But the not only Spanish community, most of South American, Argentinians and others, because the dictatorship he was pushing, Biden was going to be, a socialist and all kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So that was the other end of that.
I think what I've said and what I continue to say is that I don't believe that the Democratic Party takes advantage of the pulpit when it has it. Yep. I agree with Pastor Nick wholeheartedly that when I was more involved in politics leading up to the times that President Obama was in office, and of course that would involve a lot of interaction with the people that he was running against. One of the things I told Mrs. Clinton and the group that came to see us was that they were ignoring states that they needed to have a stronger message and a stronger presence in. And in that conversation with her representatives, and she was present, we were talking about New Jersey particularly. And they told me that New Jersey, they called it a battleground state, but they weren't allocating the resources. They weren't coming. She wasn't visiting. People weren't coming. And I said to them, how can you say this is not a battleground state? Or how do you treat it like it's not one? If we've had a Republican governor now going on 1.5 terms, what makes a battleground state? If having a Republican governor defeating the Democratic candidates, what makes a battleground state? And they just kind of looked at me and nodded their heads. And I think they assumed victory.
They did.
In too many places.
They did. Trump, she was in Philly with the Pittsburgh. Trump was in Scranton, Lancaster, all middle part of PA. James Carville said that. He said that she's making a mistake. Whoever's managed her campaign, she's going to all the wrong, she's not going to middle America.
I spoke to some of her campaign people, some of the people that they had in charge of this state and Pennsylvania, but this state particularly. They nodded their heads when I told them what I thought, but that was it. They didn't change the strategy at all, and I'd expect them to change it because I said it. Right. You guys are not out here. You're not hearing what's happening. I told Corzine to his face in a meeting, to his face, your guys are making a mistake. This is what's really happening out here. They weren't telling him the truth.
Okay.
So, he's thinking everything's fine. And it wasn't.
Yeah. Look.
And if New Jersey is not a battleground state, considering that this is the first Democratic governor in 40 years to win.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a battleground state.
Because my thing is, just because New Jersey normally goes Democrat in the presidential election, but they keep forgetting. You go to Hamilton, just around here, Atco, down that area. It is Trump country down there.
Absolutely.
And it could flip anytime.
But all it really did for me, Pastor Nick, was reveal the division in the state that has always been there, but just a little more under the cover.
Yep.
But when President Trump came along, people began to be very bold and impassioned about what they were saying and what they were believing. And I think we were hearing a lot of old emotion. I finally can say something, and I don't have to be politically correct. I don't have to be socially correct. I can just say it because I've got a guy. Here's their mistake. They were behaving as though he was never going out of office.
Yep. They thought it was going to be a run forever.
Also, Pastor Nick, I don't know if you saw the excerpt of a tape that came out that Trump said the day that he was leaving, on the 6th, that he said if he did not stay in office, he would destroy the Republican Party. He said some really crazy things,
Yeah.
But a couple of Republicans came back at him and told him that they would pull his funding for legal fees and everything else. It was some crazy takes that came out this week.
Huh?
Because he wanted to forget about the Republican Party and form his own thing.
I heard about that.
But then, like Tom said, they started, okay. Where the real money is with the Republican Party. So that's why he's still with them.
They told him, you better hold up.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you heard the tape. It was the anger, and if any Republican could hear this thing, the "I will destroy you" guys. I mean, it was like, just as much as we think with African Americans, he gets to vote and he won't do for you. Republicans got to realize, if you're not doing what he wants you to do, and you're down in Mississippi working the docks, you're not going to get on his golf course. You're not going to hang out with him. You're a vote, and that's it.
They don't realize that.
Yeah.
They've got somebody they think relates to them, and I actually started praying. I actually found myself having compassion for his family, because this public, he's not behaving any better in public than he behaves at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
maybe that's why Melania never smiles.
Yeah.
Maybe it's why his kid. I've never seen the kid smile.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I don't think public behavior exceeds private behavior.
Yep.
So this petulance that we see is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
My president was, what they call him, the kid in
Child in chief.
Child in chief.
Child in chief. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the child in chief.
Yep.
Thank you, Tom, man.
Hey, you guys
And I'm still praying for that congestion. I don't like what I hear.
All right.
All right, man.
Clear this road.
Talk to you.
The asthma's under control
All
right now.
right, man. I'll take your word for it now. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
See.
Danny, how you doing? Then we're going to, we don't know yet.
Boy.
Hey, Danny.
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick.
How you
Staff,
doing?
how you all doing today?
What's happening, man?
Yeah, I missed some opportunities to question you on something the last couple of weeks. Looking at your attire, and I'm trying to figure out but Pastor Nick is giving it away, I think.
Yeah.
He is.
He's got the hood on.
It's hoodie season,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
It's my time of weather.
He's done. This is your time.
I love wearing hoodies and sweaters, man.
Oh man, I love wearing sweaters. I just don't like. I just don't like.
You like
I
the
just
cold
like.
that
I don't
goes
like the
with it?
cold. I just like sweaters. I like the way they feel.
Well, actually, it's not the weather, it's the opportunity to get in style. Okay.
How's everything going down there in Florida, man?
We had a cold front to come through, and it went down into the lower 70s.
Y'all almost had y'all mink coats on and stuff and boots and
So my wife, she was elated. She just had a chance to put a sweater on.
Oh Lord, did she wear boots?
Yeah, well, not quite. She wanted to go into the 50s. So and
Lord
we
have
were
mercy.
during the air off for a couple of days.
Oh my,
Mm-hmm.
my.
it's Fort Lauderdale. That's down by Miami, right?
Yes.
Close by.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're just up the block. So,
Okay.
As you could say.
That's right, because we flew into Fort Lauderdale to drive to Miami.
Yep,
Okay.
yep,
all right.
yep. Yeah, I like going into Lauderdale Airport rather than Miami
Yeah,
Airport
it's
any day.
easier access.
Yeah.
It's not as crowded
Any day. Oh,
as Miami.
that Miami Airport is absolutely bedlam.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I have two comments, and one thing that's being hidden, that's not talked about as much, is the COVID situation.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed that hospitalization and also the numbers are going up,
Yep.
but nobody's saying anything about it. Last week, out of the Port Everglades, which is in Fort Lauderdale,
Mhm.
they had 6 cruise ships to go out.
Really?
Yes.
6.
Yes. And they're easing these things in. And then another thing is that football games, concerts, all of these things, I see no mask.
So that just means in about 60 days, we're going to have another issue.
Exactly.
And so the cruise ships are going out. They're having a good time. They're coming back, letting people off the boat. Those
Right.
people are going home. And there goes another spike.
Right. And the last time that this happened, Bishop, they blame other infectious diseases. They never said anything about COVID. They said, well, it's a strain of this, or it was the food, they had food contamination, et cetera, et cetera.
So,
And the same thing is that when they had the Super Bowl,
yeah.
they didn't stop it. They had that, and then the people went back home, and then you had this widespread situation with the infections and
Absolutely. And then Pastor Nick informed us this morning there's a Delta Plus variant out now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I know I saw a report that in Colorado, you know what? Again, we're back to the fence mentality. In Colorado, they were literally had 100 beds left in the state, which is nothing.
That's nothing.
In hospitals, 100 beds left in the state. And people are thinking, well, that's out in Colorado. There are no fences around these states.
This thing has ebbs and flows to it.
There's no electric barrier. There's not a zapper like you have in your backyard in the summertime getting mosquitoes. That's not how this thing works.
And the other thing that I wanted to touch on is that we were looking at this situation with the court hearing with Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
I cannot go down the street with a water gun.
Much less cross a state line.
Yeah,
right. But a water gun, and we had young men to lose their life because they had a BB gun. They were out, just target practicing with a BB gun or something like that. They lost their life.
Wow.
And what have you? And they said, and the key word is I felt fear for my life. That's the key word that they always use.
Yeah. I don't know how 2 or 3 men accosting one unarmed man makes you fear for your life.
Yep.
And
doesn't make any sense.
We've had a situation where someone that did not look like us did something. They had a mass shooting, and nobody fired a shot to arrest them.
Wow.
I mean, you look at it, how Rittenhouse is looked at as his teenager. Trayvon Martin didn't even have a gun. He's looked at as a thug.
Yeah.
But who's been in more trouble since the court case? George Zimmerman can't stay out of trouble.
Nope. Doesn't think he has to.
Doesn't have to, again, you get off for murder. I mean, it's the narrative of black people and white people are just totally different.
Yeah.
It just is.
And we have to admit that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if I cross state lines illegally with a weapon illegally, I could walk down the street and stay alive.
Yep. Not at all. Not at all. Not one bit.
Okay.
Not one bit.
All right. How's my sister doing, man?
Tremendously blessed, Bishop.
Praise God.
Oh, Lord, have mercy on his soul. Help him, Lord. Please help him. I'm glad she's tremendously blessed, Danny.
Okay. It's nice speaking with you all again.
Give her my love, please.
See you,
Keep the good work up.
All right.
All right, man.
Bye-bye now. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. Thank you for joining us today. Now we're going to Belva from D.C. Hey, Belva, how you doing?
Hey, I'm blessed. God bless you, Bishop.
Good to
Hello,
hear.
Pastor Nick.
Good to hear from you.
And keep you all. And I'm trying to figure this thing out again.
Just turn your volume down on your device.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And just talk to you from the phone. Don't get nothing. Just talk.
Yep, just talk.
Okay. One thing I was wanting to talk about was being careful of the words that we speak and what we say.
Mm-hmm.
And that words are very important, especially in conversation and as we sing. Words are very important in what we put out there for God.
Mm-hmm.
And the verse that I want to come from is 1 Corinthians 14 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
What is it then? I will pray with the Spirit, and I will pray with the understanding also.
Mm-hmm.
I will sing with the Spirit, and I will sing with the understanding also. In a lot of cases, then we have these people that are wonderful singers, but sometimes I don't think that they're really thinking out what they're actually singing. And I wanted to come out and say that nobody likes you. It sounds strange, but if I was to say nobody likes you, how would you take that? So what it is I start, when I hear this song, and I love the song, there's nobody like you. And sometimes people started out, nobody like you, Lord. Nobody like you, Lord. And, and that grieves my spirit.
Why does that
And
grieve your
a lot
spirit?
of these songs, they grieve my spirit.
Bevel, why does that grieve your spirit? Nobody like you, Lord. Why would that grieve you?
Because I love the Lord. And sometimes when...
But there's nobody like him.
There is nobody like him.
Yeah, he's all...
But you see how you said it then. There is nobody that like you. I mean, there is nobody like you.
And that's the way they're emphasizing it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But sometimes when you hear it, like when it first comes on, it's like, nobody like you. Nobody like you, Lord. Nobody. I don't know if it's prophetic or what, because sometimes I hear things in the prophetic a lot of the time. I just want to put emphasis.
I think you're reading something into that.
Exactly. Sometimes it's prophetic with me. And so what it is I think that, a lot of people should actually put there is nobody like you, Lord, because there is nobody like, there is nobody like him. And
Belle?
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm talking to you now.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. We're having a conversation. It's not a monologue, so let's talk.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think, like I said before, very familiar with the song you're talking about.
It's a couple.
Okay, but you brought this one up in particular.
Yes, sir.
So we'll talk about this one. Very, very familiar with the song. We've sung it. I've heard it many times. I just believe that if you are sensitive to how words are used, that it's possible, just adding this wisdom, you may have read a little too much into this particular song, because the phrasing in the song is not referring to at all, not even implying that a negative. It's saying because of who God is, there is nobody like him, and I think that's very plain in the messaging. So I do understand that some words like climbing up the rough side of the mountain are not necessarily the best messaging, but for a segment of people, life has been a rough side of a mountain, so it's relevant to some people based upon their experience.
Yes.
So I do understand that my confession, my faith will never rise any higher than my confession. And the kingdom of God is a word-sensitive, voice-sensitive kingdom. That much of what Jesus teaches has to do with our speaking, and the volume of our heart is revealed in our mouth. So I get the importance of words. I've been teaching on it for the past few weeks to my preachers' classes and my shepherds' classes. I get that, but I think sometimes, and maybe this time, and there are some songs that I think that are, I'll just say, inappropriate for the faith.
Yes.
But I get your point. But I think your example may have been not as strong as it could have been.
And there's I'm looking at TV again. Hold on. And it's like I was saying, sometimes when things are on my heart like that, then a lot of times I speak them, and I have to do what the Lord is speaking and telling me to do.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. Let me give you a little key that I've let me give you a little key that I've taught my preachers as it relates to speaking what we believe God has spoken to us and told us to say. Whenever I don't know if you were able to follow our series, How to Get a Word from the Lord. Did you follow that series?
No, sir.
Okay. If you get a chance and if you desire to, it's a rather lengthy series, but it is very detailed in how to get a word from the Lord. And one of the things that we want to do when we believe God is asking us to speak, we want to study ourselves full on the subject that we believe God wants us to say. We then want to think ourselves clear. So I want to study myself full. I want to think myself clear. Then pray myself hot. Then let myself go, and that means then speak. So I want to, if I believe God is telling me to do a thing, I study myself full in the Word of God on it. Then I think myself clear, so when I articulate it, I can do it accurately and prophetically. Then I pray myself hot, and then I release the word. Does that make sense to you, Belva?
Yes, sir. It makes a lot of sense, and
Okay.
I usually do it a lot of times because trust me, I didn't want to get on TV.
Well, no. You're fine. But we've talked before, and I appreciate you calling us. But a lot of times, you give the impression that you have not thought yourself clear.
I do. I just get nervous, and it's a lot of things that I speak. And it's a lot of things that I speak that I get nervous about. But I just want to make what God is telling me specifically, because a lot of times it will come to pass, and I'll be like, "See, I should have."
Pray yourself high.
Actually, it should have went.
Do you keep
earlier?
Do you keep an inspiration journal?
Time I heard somebody
Belva, do you keep an inspiration journal?
I don't, because I really don't like to go back over things. That's
not good. The Bible is all about going back over things that have been said and been done.
Well, the Bible, yeah.
So
I have different sermons and things that the Lord has given me.
So when you get inspirations, it would be, and I gotta let you go after I tell you this, it would be a really good idea to journal your inspirations, and then you can go back and see how clear you were, what the manifestation was, whether the inspiration was spot on, whether you heard God correctly or incorrectly. I think the journal is a wonderful thing.
Okay, and I will, but I have just one more thing, if I can.
Go ahead.
The Jehovah Shammah and Jehovah Shalom are two different things, and I heard once before somebody was singing Jehovah Shammah.
Who told
Jehovah
you?
Shammah is not
There's
the Prince of Peace.
There's no argument from our end that Shammah and Shalom are two different names of God.
Yeah, but I heard it.
Jehovah Shammah is Jehovah's there.
Jehovah Shammah is Jehovah's there.
Yeah, and Jehovah
Shalom is peace. Yeah. So you heard what, Belva?
I heard it. I heard it sung on one of the Sundays. I think it was about a Sunday or two ago.
Okay. Good talking to you, Belle.
Sir.
I said good talking to you. Gotta let you go.
You also, God bless and keep you.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.
That was Belva from DC. So, how much time do we have, Pastor Nick?
4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes. Okay, so driving service today. We got faked out by the weather, so we canceled. We canceled driving service today. They told us it was going to be 40-some degrees, which is kind of counterproductive for yours truly and Pastor Nick, as it relates to preaching outdoors. So today's service, it's supposed to be raining right now too.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. So I know you guys make a private joke about me never canceling anything, but I've tried to be more compliant here in the last two times and got faked out.
Yeah, I know. Something said let's wait till the morning, but it just didn't.
Okay.
It's okay. It's all good.
Listen to the leading of the Lord.
Yeah.
So our service today outdoors was canceled, but of course we will be live. We will be live all day tomorrow, 8 a.m. Engage live at 9:45, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. 10 Times Better Woman tomorrow. So we're looking forward to you spending the day with us tomorrow. 8 a.m. Encounter, 9:45 Engage Live, 11 a.m. Encounter, and our 6 p.m. Encounter with 10 Times Better. Of course, we have our discussion at 5:30, teaching, conversation at 6, and then a post-discussion with all of our listeners, all of our viewers at right after the message, usually around 6:35, 6:32. We want you to email your prayer request to us. That's at social at gotobethany.com. So send your prayer request to social at gotobethany.com. We love to pray for you, touch and agree with you. We want you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube, but also subscribe to our DJams and our OnPointe podcast platforms. For Pastor Nicholas A. Smith, how much time we got? 4 minutes?
About 2 minutes now.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Pastor Nick, our technician is like 2 minutes behind.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know what this screen is. For Pastor Nicholas A. Smith, I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. I want you to remember that faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and we will see you next time on OnPointe.